Hi. Today I'm doing a little sketchbook drawing. I haven't been able to keep a sketchbook just for fun in a really long time, so I'm getting back into the habit of just doing fun little finished illustrations. But today I want to talk about my experience with art college and if I think it's worth it or not. I've seen in the art YouTube space so many big art YouTubers talking about art college and their opinions on it, and some of them have gone, some of them haven't gone, and there's a wide variety of opinions, so I figured I would throw my opinion out there. For those of you who don't know, I went to art college for about 3 years. I did 2 different programs. I did an art fundamentals program, which is essentially a program for people who are interested in having a career in art but don't necessarily know if they want to pursue it. It's a 1-year course. You can go in, you learn every different type of art known to man. You do a little bit of graphic design, a little bit of animation, a little bit of illustration, and by the end of it, it helps you have a clearer idea of an art career you might want to focus on or follow. Typically, if you took this course, you would go into one of 3 different secondary art courses. You would either go into graphic design, you would go into animation, which was really popular at my school, or you would go into illustration. I chose to go into illustration just because it was more up my career path, and I decided to focus on children's illustration. My illustration course was really intense. It was about 2 years, and you learned so much about anatomy, perspective, world building, how to build characters, how to set a scene. And then by the last semester, you pick a specialization. You could go into comics, you can go into children's illustration, you can go into visual development, whatever you think fit your future career path the best. I'm gonna talk about some of the positives of art college first because I feel like it's always good to start out with the positive things in life. A big positive about art college is you improve so much so fast. My art at the beginning of my college career versus the end was completely different. My skills in anatomy and perspective and character building changed so much, and I felt way more confident in my skills as an illustrator. A big critique about art college I see thrown around a lot on YouTube is that you can teach yourself all the things that you might learn in art college. You can take a Skillshare course or whatever to gain the knowledge that you might learn in art college without having to pay as much money. And while this is true, it's not necessarily 100% correct. I find in art college you improve so much faster versus when you're self-taught. It might take you 2 to 3 years to teach yourself something that you can learn in 1 semester in an art college. For example, before I went to art college, I struggled with anatomy. My anatomy had improved in the 3+ years I was self-taught, but after I went to art college and started learning from industry professionals like firsthand, my anatomy improved so much so quickly, and I actually started to enjoy it a lot more. Another pro about art college is you have teachers and professors that are industry professionals and have worked in the industry full time, so they can give you good insight and good tips about how to improve your work the fastest. I had an amazing anatomy teacher in art college. I had a great perspective teacher, and I had a great children's illustration teacher, and they have influenced my art so much, and it's made me such a better artist just to learn from them. I think one of the biggest pluses about art college too is when you graduate, you get a diploma or a degree, which goes a long way, believe it or not. If you are applying for an art job, your portfolio can be as amazing as possible, but if there is someone equally as amazing that also has a college or university diploma or degree, they are more likely to pick the person with a higher level education because they've been professionally trained. The last really big plus I want to talk about in art college is the people you meet and the network that you create. I know personally from my experience, I have met some of my best friends from art college and some of the people I vibe with the most in my life. When you go to art college, you're surrounded by a lot of other creative people who think the same way as you and can give you insight on your artwork and your creative process. And when you graduate, if you make some really good friends, you also have a really good artist network. I know me and my art school friends, we always send job listings to each other. We always encourage each other to go for different art positions. We also can help each other with our creative processes and personal projects. It's honestly just really nice to have a support system of people who know a little bit about the art world. You also will meet some really great professors when you go to art college. I know I vibed with a lot of my professors. They were really funny and they just are a great support system for helping you get through the 2 years you're there. And if you become good enough friends with them, they'll even let you put them on your resume, which can help you get a job in the future. I definitely had a really great time when I went to art college, and I wouldn't change it for the world. That being said, I don't know if I would ever go back to art college. I guess that means now I should talk about some of the negatives I experienced in art college. I think for me personally, the biggest negative I experienced in art college was the creative burnout I had after I graduated. In art college, for basically 2 years straight, you are told every day what to draw, how to draw it, and that you should only focus on one type of art and not really branch out because in the future you're only going to be known for one type of art anyway and be in one certain career field. And for me, after I graduated, I had that mindset stuck in my head. So I was drawing the only type of art my teachers wanted me to draw, but that led to big creative burnout because I wasn't drawing anything I truly wanted to be drawing. I was only drawing the things I thought would get me a job in the future or people wanted to see. For me, that was children's illustration drawings, and don't get me wrong, I love drawing children's illustration stuff, but every once in a while it's really nice to branch out and kind of change up the type of work you're doing, and every time I would do that, I would feel really guilty, and then I just wouldn't want to draw, which led to me not drawing. It took me a couple months after graduating to kind of push past all those voices in my head and start drawing and finding my creative voice again. And I've noticed a lot of my other friends that I graduated art school with have experienced the same thing as me. I think a lot of that creative burnout is also attributed to the way art college is structured. In art college, it's very typical to have around 8 to 9 courses a semester, which is kind of insane when you consider that in normal college courses or university courses, they only give about 4 to 5 classes a semester because it's too much for students to handle. For some reason, they think just because it's an art class, it means that the work isn't equally as hard or as tough as in a normal college course. So you kind of end up doing around 8 assignments a week, maybe more, maybe less. I remember in my final semester of art college, I was going to bed at 7 a.m. every day, and then I would sleep for 2 to 3 hours, wake up, go to my course, then do schoolwork for the next 12 hours till 7 a.m. again, go to bed, and repeat. I was eating about one meal a day in my final semester when I was getting my finals done. Yeah, that was a really hard time in my life. I kind of looked like a gremlin. In my final semester, it pushed way past what a normal art job workday would look like. It bordered onto crazy hours of work a day, and it made it so art became more of a chore and not a passion and a love of mine. I also had a really hard time because some of my professors weren't as accommodating to the schedule as others, which I guess leads me into my final point, which is you're gonna have to deal with some pretty crappy professors, which I guess is the case in most college courses, but especially in art college, it can be really difficult. The thing with professors in art college is they can judge your work based on their personal preferences and not if the art is good or not. For example, I had a professor at one point that really hated the anime art style, and a student in my class, they really liked drawing in a more anime art style, and their art was very beautiful, but the professor would always grade them low because they personally just didn't like the art style, even though the art fit all the criteria of the assignment and looked great. The professor basically told the student, you have to stop drawing in this art style or you will never get a job in this profession. Which is a really mean thing to say. There's a difference between motivating a student with tough love and just being straight up plain rude, and I think this professor was just very rude and old and grumpy. I did not like this professor at all either. I often found in different teachers' classes, if a student drew in the way the teacher really liked, they would be the favorite of that class and get really high marks because they just had a style the teacher really liked, as opposed to grading more based on the criteria of the assignment. Honestly though, art college was a really amazing time in my life. I met really amazing people. I had so many great life experiences and work experiences from art college. Despite all the tough times I had in art college, I would say it's worth the money and you do learn a lot and improve on your skills. I would just suggest if you are thinking of going to art college or are in art college, find a schedule that works great for you and a way that you can survive the crazy hours and the crazy amount of work. But that's just my opinion. I would love to know what you guys think. Also, I finished up this drawing. I used water-based markers for the first time in a while, and I'm really happy with how it came out. If you guys have a video you want to see from me, or you just have any comments or questions, please leave a comment down below, and thank you for watching.